man supremacy. Mr. Rastafari.
Oi, oi, Selassie, I will take. These are the trumpets making the sound. Hey, watch over us. Emperor Selassie, hide them your roads, rugged and steep. I know it is a must for us to make it home, even through them your gnashing of teeth. Hey, guide over us. Holy Emmanuel, our knees could never get weak. I know it is a must for us to make it home. Through them you're gnashing of teeth. These are those who constantly they have been placing the rocks on the traps, leaving devil snares laying, and then wish we all who them hate to be falling. Yet in them face the witness die uprising. Feeling high, making it onto my way. No apology, fire on them every day. Conspiracy leads the game you play. Now the fall on the knees without my say. Hey, guide over us. Holy Emmanuel, I eat it a road, rugged and steep. I know it is a must for us to make it home, even through them you're gnashing of teeth. You guide over us. Emperor Selassie, Isis, and knees could never get weak. I know it is a must for us to make it home, even through them you're gnashing of teeth. Them for know from the mountain and the valleys. Oh, just tell me so I run both river banks. Within life you've got the valleys, yeah. Here is the Rasta youth voice giving thanks. Hey, Jaja, give my man strength. Working for you makes no sense. You could never put a dime in my pocket. King Selassie here on the front line, so watch this. Guide over us.
Greetings in the name of the Most High, Haile Selassie first. Ever live and ever faithful, ever sure. Conquering line of the tribe of Judah, who's on the fullness of the evening. As chairman of the Information Committee, it is my pleasure to introduce the ancient patriarch, Chief Administrator of the Shashamane Ganga, Ras Solomon Wolf. Yes, Elder.
Yes, we always. My full zeal is to share my knowledge, my wisdom, my understanding pertaining to the right of our fullness about this work. And in the beginning, it says that wisdom began from up the river Nile. It explored down the river Nile. Everyone could be foretold. The greatest history that given unto man today and forever is the Bible. And from the Bible it shows you where the three powers that rule the heaven, the same three powers shall rule the earth, which is represent prophet, priest, and the king.
Melchizedek, great high priest.
And that is where I have received all my experience from. But before I should go further into my experience, I would say how good and how pleasant it is that the brethren can play together in unity. That will ever be the precious ointment upon our head, and one upon our bed. You know, you run our bed and went unto this court of the God. We have the two of our man and just sit upon the mount of Zion. Where the Lord himself come out all blessing, life, love, and peace. To all young, middle age, those that even born yet not unborn, my experience is a thing could be the value of each and every one to know the greatest things to know. So I'm willingly to share that I have my experience and my understanding through wisdom I understand that I have gathered.
Experience is the best teacher.
Over the decay from I began into this earth. Now, as to know that I am from way down the bottom, West Pit, which is known as Jamaica. And the that's where I really risen back in this time. So, my first experience is that I received many understanding, many knowings from the prophet, which is run in our time, which is in the 20th century.
What year that, Elder? What year that they are speaking of?
And I'm speaking from around in the 30s.
1930s, when black supremacy and black pride was the thing for conscious-minded people, right?
Well, it's also for conscious people, but people that was prepared by him, the Father himself, to fulfill these desires. Because him say, a mother won't go for in shape in iniquity. But for his own purpose, he give us his glory that we could come out of our body and to stand to represent this glory.
Like the old saying, the tradition is an inborn concept.
Right.
Yes, that which was handed down through successive generations. So it's really your heritage you come reclaim. In the 30s there.
Okay.
Yes, I.
So from experience of my gathering, it's through the prophet gathering Marcus Garvey.
Marcus Garvey.
And from that day on up to this time, I am now fulfilling the Almighty himself, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, the conquering Lamb, the tribe of Judah, who in his new name, which is may be sound terrible and dreadful amongst heathen. But as he said, blessed are all those that call it by his name, Rastafari, at this time.
I will Selassie first.
So seeing that it is good to share what you had, that others could know where it's from and where it begins from. And as I have said, as the Bible told us, these three powers is where all wisdom will be given to. For the prophet is to prophesy for the things past, present, and future. And the priest is to ignore the righteousness to every human being which God chose. For him say, righteousness shall exalt a nation, and sin will be a reproach unto everyone. So to be a full vessel, you have to know the divinity of the divine power, which is the spiritual part of it. And for that cause, and that is how I can declare that I have been found in this position this day. By go to the entertainment of these three powers.
So in the 1930s, when you came into the Black Liberation Movement, right?
Yeah.
How that came about?
As I said, came about from the experience through the prophet.
Marcus Garvey, right. What was going on in that era that attracted you to the movement? Other than it was an inbound concept where the father appointed you from in the mother's womb, right?
Yeah.
What was the catalyst that brought you to the movement? And what did you begin to do at that time?
Well, as you said, acting on the device that have been explored to give us wisdom and understanding, which is through the prophet. And seeing that I, as one who was not prepared for myself, but prepared from him who created man, I was willing and prepared to accept the understanding from the prophet. So I have grown up in the knowledge and the exploration that I explore from the prophet from in those days. That we must also prepare ourselves as children of the Most High to receive the glory of our King of Kings.
Right, Marcus said, look to Africa, and when you see a black king crown,
Right.
yeah,
We know that our redemption come.
redemption is here. Yes, I.
So I set myself on alert to receive all the knowledge that I could receive through the prophet. Glory to God this day, that I may not receive all, but I receive sufficient that give me the experience together, both from the prophet, the priest, and the king. And from my attended conception, I work through the prophet, and I work through the priest, and I work now into the power of the King of Kings. I know from the prophet that we should have turned our eyes from whence we came by the prophet. And when knowing myself, I was born in Jamaica, according to the world know, that we were taken away from Africa and from Ethiopia. And as it said, the leopard could not change the spot, so the Ethiopian could change his dye. So I accept myself in that eternal self to know that I am a child of Ethiopia.
Ethiopian, proud and independent and free, never undergone by colonization, my brother.
So I fully put myself to be a supporter.
To reclaim your heritage, because it is yours.
And to stand firm that I could be a light in the behalf of one for all and all for one. Glory to God this day, so that my heart desire is so it fulfilled, that whatsoever I have gathered from the prophet, through the priest, and to receive the glory from the Father, is our God and King. I become a personal representative of the kingdom that has been placed in by words, works, and manifestations.
Alright, brethren. So, in 1966, right? Selassie came to Jamaica. But I think you had
I'm first before you should even go so far, because I was put to knowledgeable known that you'll have to start from the beginning, and the beginning is from the prophet. So when I have been told in my growing up that we are the people as Ethiopians children, we must prepare to receive our king when he comes and stand loyal to him, I say black supremacy is my right power to deal with. So I trod through the prophet. When the prophet leave us, is when the Father himself come on the being of the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords in this 20th century.
225th ruler of the monarchy of Solomon and Sheba.
So I was not supporter of the colonial government, yet I was born in the hand of the colonial government. But for the will of Jah, I was a true son of him. So all my knowledge was taken up about my own heritage. So I prepared myself and I started to work by going around research the different administrations that speak about Africa. And I found myself to be a vessel of such a cause. Well, going through, I see many rise and speak about Africa, and many defend Africa. But I think to have the full knowledge what position I should have bear as a representative as a son of Ethiopia. So I tried the way of the King of Kings after the prophet, a departure from ourselves. And these are the recording given to us. We must stand up loyal to defend our international morality that lay at stake. A house that divides against himself will surely fall. And anything come to divide us, we must not put ourselves to take part of it. So we are up to that I am returning to this chapter, which is Jamaica. In that time, there was no government besides the colonial government. And I see we are our own people from that time try to despise these glory, to stand up for their own self. But as I say, I was one who the Father sight in my mother womb, that I should be one of him. And so as I say, so it manifests, for I come before a true representative of the rights of black supremacy, given the experience through the prophet and by even the Almighty himself, through the Holy Bible. And for that cause, my experience is how I gather it. But I only don't gather it and keep it, I gather it and manifest it. For, as you know, Rastafari glory today is given through the administration of church and state. Many may hear about the Nyabingi, and what I have learned from the Nyabingi is that we should rally and stand firm to defend the right against whether black or white. And I stay firm that these commandments was right. So I still have the experience about the Nyabingi, and from the Nyabingi, Rastafari himself see that I was fitted to be a part of his government, which is known according to the Holy Volume, that the government of his people shall rest upon his shoulders, and the increase of his government shall have no end. We shall be called the Mighty Council, and the Prince of Peace, and his ever living Father. So this day I am one, not only sentiment but reality. I am a true son of the Almighty King of Kings. So I started to take up the responsibility of defending the government that is established by him, for one for all and all for one.
Moving in that manner, there
He
no
said,
failure.
whatever you do in that manner, there can be no failure. And today, I am glorifying Rastafari for such a government that is given to us to represent our kingdom and to bring ourselves back from out of colonial rule and domineering and stand up on our own kingdom. Because it said, Prince and Princess shall come out of Egypt, seeing that Ethiopia shall stretch forth their hands unto God. Well, it have a lot of struggling. But him said the road was not super, nor level, maybe hills and valley. And I see where I'm from, it have a lot of hills and valley. So I didn't fear to go over the mountains or over the hills and valley. It's such a work. And to be loyal from that time to those little small era, him said that he has already of small things, then him shall make you the owner and operation and representative of greater things. Today at this time, I have experienced that these words were true. For today I can be sure as a living witness that this promise that he made and declared that he gone to prepare a place for us, that where him is, we shall be there also. And when I work it out and search it out, we couldn't have no other way to go beside Ethiopia. And that is a kingdom that's given to us through his mighty power and goodness, which is the land, which is our heritage.
But my elder, I'd like to ask a question, right? There about 1966, sometime around 1966, Haile Selassie first visited Jamaica. But I get to comprehend that you had some encounter with the Ethiopian heritage, your Ethiopian heritage prior to His Majesty coming to Jamaica. Could you tell us a bit about that?
Yes, because I take up my responsibility and to put myself in the forefront to defend my kingdom.
Yes, sir.
And I take up that from 1950.
Were you a member of like the UNIA or something like that?
Well, I can declare say yes, because I was a scout when Garvey was beginning his war, his pilgrimage in Jamaica. And from Garvey leave, I still stand up to defend myself, and I found myself as a personal representative from 1950 to 1955. I received the portfolio of the government that given us the heritage right in Ethiopia from the King of Kings.
Which government was that?
The Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated.
Is that a fact?
Yeah.
What year you say you came aware of the Ethiopian World Federation?
From 1950, but I declare it 1955.
Right. That is after Miss Mimi Richardson came to Jamaica and issued a charter.
Well, identify, I would have said that I was even started to think about the Ethiopian World Federation before Miss Mimi Richardson come to Jamaica.
Oh, why year did Miss Mimi Richardson come to Jamaica?
Well, positively, I don't know I don't have the remembrance of the full day or month, but I know it was in the 30s, up to 1936, 97, 38.
Thereabouts.
Up to 40.
And she issued a charter to the Rastafarian.
Well, Ethiopian World Federation was established before it reached the Rasta by still black people.
Yes.
Because
what would be termed middle class people, right?
the establishment of the Ethiopian World Federation was established after the war between Mussolini and Ethiopia.
Right, in New York.
And after the war had been conquered by Ethiopia, through a representative of the Imperial Majesty, which is known as Malaki Ben, he made this presentation to the Imperial Majesty. What would he do for the security of the black people, chiefly in the West, that take part with Ethiopia to see Ethiopia should be victorious over the war with the invaders.
Yes.
And through that, it has been explored to me and others that he make these words, saying he go into his own mentality and say, well, go establish Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated for all black people of the West. So, and establish it with the foundation into the United States of America.
In August 25th, 1937. Right.
So, after it was established in the United States, and those who were in entirety in the United States as black people, take it up. And they started to put it out.
Establishing locals throughout the United States and the Caribbean.
Yeah. Okay. So the federation had been reached in Jamaica within the years of the 40s.
Right. And a couple locals were established in Jamaica, but it was mainly amounts like, would say, the middle class or upper class people, like lawyers and doctors and things of the sort.
No, the local people, but there were black people, and there was black people.
Right.
Not only lawyer, doctor. It wasn't entertained by those representatives as black people. It was the local black people, but it was the Rastafari.
Right. They had some discrimination against bearded men.
Well, in that time, the Rastafarian in Jamaica was fully defending Ethiopia through the power of our Imperial Majesty Emperor Selassie.
And black supremacy.
And that caused they were fear to partake with the Rasta because the Rasta show where it means not serving colonial government no more.
Right.
And we become agitators for our rights by returning back to Africa.
Ethiopia for the Ethiopians at home and abroad. And we will not give up a continent
for an island.
These were the sentiments.
Yeah.
And them couldn't deal with that.
No, because
they were too radical.
They were fear of the colonial government.
Right, saying that the Rasta man was too radical.
The Rasta couldn't have no fear because the power of God were in them.
So them never want to allow the Rasta man for having a local. But Miss Mimi Richardson came down there and gave the Rasta community the opportunity to develop their locals, right?
And what I have experienced in that saying is that Miss Mimi Richards come to Jamaica and make we the Rasta know that the Imperial Majesty's instructor to come to Jamaica and try to invite the Rasta people to accept the Ethiopian World Federation as the government for themselves and for all who accept. And so she invited us to take part into the Ethiopian World Federation.
Right.
And then she first bring forth a chart and issue that, and from that then other chart was established. Well, I get my own in 1955.
1955.
Right. I apply, and my appliement for the Ethiopian World Federation, not only by that saying, I was received that knowledge and instruction through a vision.
Through a vision?
Yes. That I have seen that the Kati Firma,
which is the skies.
Yes, that's working in my vision. And I received, first thing that I received from the Kati Firma was the emblem of the red, gold and green that rule Ethiopia, the rainbow circle throne.
Rainbow circle throne.
And after that, I received a chart. And third thing, it was a ship. What a ship that I see.
A vessel.
That I started to work for the benefit of taking us out of Jamaica in the vision.
In the vision.
Right? And after that vision explored to me, it had replayed to me naturally by someone come around and said to me that I should think to organize myself and others to own a chart of the Ethiopian World Federation.
That you as a member of the community that defends black liberation struggle should become knowledgeable of what Haile Selassie I has said for us as a people who want to reclaim our heritage. So he said that he thinks that you should become knowledgeable of the Ethiopian World Federation. You must apply for a charter. Him see you as a man who can deal with that.
Well, after that instruction given to me through the vision, the bearer of that person who had come to me and enlightened me about temporarily how I could go about the Ethiopian World Federation. He said I should have gathered 25 people and applied to it America, in New York City.
As per Constitution, because apparently he knew his Constitution, so he was telling you how to do it. Right.
And I asked him, how could I make the application? He said, well, you have an organizer in Jamaica. And he would have direct the organizer to me, and then he would give me the further details.
So how to go about getting your charter. Alright.
And that organizer was Powell, the name of it.
It's a Powell.
It's a Powell. And yeah,
that is what year?
That is between 1954.
Mr. Paul was the organizer in 1954.
Yeah, up to 1954 I know him as an organizer.
So he was an international organizer?
Yes.
Coming from the New York?
From New York.
Right.
And when he came to me, he said that he was instructed by a member of the Federation that a group of us, represented by me, willing to be a part of the Ethiopian World Federation. And I told him yes.
Right.
I asked him how could I go about it. And he said, well, you can give me the full knowledge and make the communication for me. But that is his work.
Right, as an organizer.
So I told him yes, I am willing to do so. And he also returned to me and said, present 25 persons with yourself and make a requirement to the international headquarters in New York City, then Avenue, and then you will receive a charge. And whatever the cost is, all you have to do is send it by mail. And I do so.
You did that?
And in doing that, I did require a charter which I feel that I should have it in the name of the Imperial Majesty. So I said, I would like to have the chart of Melchizedek.
Melchizedek, the ancient of days, no beginning of days or ending of days.
When I apply for that chart, I get back the answer that that chart has already gone out. But there's a chart in their hands now, which is actually the end of the chart that they expect to establish in the Caribbean island of Jamaica. And that is a chart which named Ethiopian World Federation Charter 43 Empress Taito.
And I think the charter that you had asked was Charter 34.
Well, I wouldn't give you the final number.
Right, but you got Empress Menin Local 43.
But I get Ethiopian World Federation Charter 43 Empress Taito.
Empress Taito.
Yes, and I was advised from the headquarters, if I receive that chart, they think it could be a valuable chart to I. And I make the reply, okay, send it, and I will accept it. So the chart reached me by 1955. And I so begged I get the instruction, how could I establish it by the same organizer. When he stand by with me and see that we, and that time is supposed to put the chart out too, by gathering your people, and then you would have made a march, and by making a march you
establish yourself
in
the community.
And that's what we do. But by opening ourselves as a representative of Ethiopia through the Ethiopian World Federation. And from that day on, I become the president of Charter 43 Empress Taito. And to this very time, I've been the president for the people see my faithfulness as a true president, and this desire at every time that our elections will run, everybody said, well, we have to continue with our president. And then I work from that stage until I reach Ethiopia.
Well, my brother.
And as you have said to me about when the emperor come to Jamaica.
Yes, my brother.
1966, April, I was already having the charter established. And in my group, I was summoned by the government of Jamaica that I should prepare to receive the emperor.
Then how did the government of Jamaica get to know you?
Because you are in Jamaica, and wherever you be as a member of or a part of the Federation, they give out a full establishment through the cleaner that the Ethiopian World Federation and the Rasta in general, the emperor that is coming is our God and King, is our king, and we are responsible to represent him. If the other people don't receive him, we have the responsibility to represent him and be with him until we leave Jamaica.
Did you have any occasion to meet with the ruling party of Jamaica prior to His Majesty coming to Jamaica?
Yes.
And what was the occasion?
The occasion Rasta was toned down by the government in different representatives from Buster up
Right, there was a Coral Garden incident.
That's Norman Washington Manley, from Buster Manley to Norman Washington Manley. And all that they used is to destroy the Rasta.
Fighting against black liberation
Right.
struggle.
But by instruction given by Arthur Lewis,
Who's Arthur Lewis?
Chancellor of the University of the West Indies.
Oh, he was what, a historian or a professor?
He was a professor.
Professor of what, you remember?
Well, his professorship was a well-learned man in prophecy,
In history?
in history,
Oh, alright.
and then he advised Mr. Manley to go and use a survey with the Rasta, and then he will find out if the Rasta having a base of their declaration defending Ethiopia or Africa.
Oh.
And that's what he does. So these he give three representatives from the university, which was Dr. Ojari, Dr. Smith, and Dr. Apara. And they make a survey through the Rasta. As many people may hear about Bakawal, Shantytown, and the Dongle, and wherever the where the Rasta was located.
In Montego Bay, they had a camp in Montego Bay,
It
right?
was all over in Jamaica, but chiefly they were dealing with the Rasta in Kingston, Jamaica.
Oh, in Kingston.
So when they finished with those areas, I was recalled to them about as a representative of the Ethiopian World Federation Rastafarian Group, and they visit me.
That is what year?
That is in 1959.
1959.
And
So from 1955, you say when you got the charter,
right,
you did work in the community,
right,
so much so that the establishment, the government,
and
knew that
where I
you,
located.
as a loyal servant of His Majesty, is doing His Majesty's work.
Right, as a government, as a people of his government.
So they had to come and see what it was about.
Well, they were instructed by whom they put to lead them to the different area, which was one Mortimer Planner
Oh.
and one Sam Brown, and they know where we were located. So when I finished in Kingston, they take them out to the different area, which I was found in the lower part of St. Andrew,
Call?
which they call in the area of, at that time, Waterhouse.
Oh, Waterhouse. That is down the Washington Boulevard.
That is between Washington Boulevard and Aga Park Road boundary.
Right. Near Sandy Gully over there.
Well, you have a gully they call Sandy Gully that divided from Boulevard. But Boulevard was a binding road to our area.
So alright, the government send Mr. Mortimer Planner and Mr. Sam Brown on some fact-finding mission.
No, they come with these representatives from the university. The three persons that I called.
Oh, alright.
And they come and take a survey.
Did the investigation.
And do the investigation about the different Rasta group.
Alright.
But when they reach to me, they find that I had a representative position of a hall, which we gathered and administrate the Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated.
A meeting place.
Right, and in that meeting place, we have rules and orders that we establish on a blackboard in the hall. And when they happen to ask me if I could allow them to go into the hall to see how we operate or see how we set up our operation, I give them the access and they go. Well, I realize when them go, they don't ask me any more questions, more they were writing from the blackboard that we have, which carried the rules.
Parliamentary procedure.
And the orders of the organization.
Yeah.
And after they finished, they said to return these words. Mr. Planner, we had found what we need in this house.
Alright.
And if we had come here before, we would have finished the job long ago. You know, it was replied by Mr. Planner. If they're not satisfied of the year, different year that they're going into, him say, well, I didn't say it so. I'm only telling you that if we had come here first, then we would have been finalized our work long ago. Well, after carrying back the report to Mr. Marley, we see the publication come out in the paper, which Mr. Marley will be dealing with the delegation in 9. To meet the premier. And we spent practically half day waiting on to see the delegation of Mr. Martin Upton and Sam Brown come. Well, after I returned to about 4 o'clock in the evening, we saw some representative from Mr. Manley's office come and say, if there's any other group is there, and we represent ourselves. I said, yes, there are some more groups. Some of us here is waiting to hear our terms. And take a list of us and say our term will be the 17th of August.
That is the following day.
That is the following day.
Alright.
Well, in that batch that I go in to represent, it was between the Rastafarian, which was a part of the Dongle, part of Shantytown, and Bakawal.
These are various different Rasta camp.
But the side that I were on was the side of between the church triumphant and my personal representation of the government. Well, they give the franchise to those, it was 12 Rasta man in dreadlock, and deal with those 12 different Rasta on the first show. Well, they make certain decoration to him, which they desire to go back to their motherland, Africa. They ask them where, some name themselves that they would like to go back to Ghana, they want to go back to Nigeria, they want to go back to Kenya, they want to go to Sierra Leone, and in these different places. When we reason with them, and show them that if they have any connection with these places that they want to go. And they reply and get there, they didn't have any personal connection. and put them on a hold, and then in turn to us on the other side, which we were between the Church Triumphant and myself as the representative of the Federation.
What is the Church Triumphant?
Well, there's a group of Rastas who say that they are representing the Church Triumphant, and the representative of that group was the leader, was Wilfred Duffus. So they applied first, and applied to them first to find out what is the foundation of the Church Triumphant. Well, in some way or the other, the representative could not give a collective understanding to him about the Church Triumphant, and then paused for a moment asking him different questions, and couldn't identify himself appropriately, and then he closed his group administrative representative, and then I was the next person that
Turn to the eye.
and turned to.
As a member of the Ethiopian Federation.
A representative of the Ethiopian
Local
Welfare.
43.
And then he applied to me, what do you represent? I say, I represent the Ethiopian World Federation, incorporated, that given by the Imperial Majesty.
Selassie first.
And when I said like that, the Catafirma sealed it A shock of lightning.
Lightning? I said that.
Yes.
So that took that as a sign and a token.
And a clap of thunder in a very loud fashion. That the whole hall was echoed. Like that we could experience that in the hall that we were backed up by soldiers and police. For the echo that made from all of us when the sign show from the cat from our chief, the thunder and the lightning.
A joyous roar.
Right? They happened to fly their doors and think it was any uprising, obstructing against the manly.
They were startled.
And then
the security forces.
Yes. And then he tell them nothing wrong. They are only giving reverence to the cat firma that had been explored lightning and the sound of the thunder. And then he start to deal with me.
Start asking questions now.
And then he says, he can assure that my representation is a firm one because he got letter in his position which came from the King of Kings of Ethiopia representing the Ethiopian World Federation and also land that is given as a grant for that organization. And also instruct the remaining group that what he could advise them all is to unite with the Ethiopian World Federation and then their problem would be solved.
All this took place what year there,
1960, the 17th day of August.
17th day of August.
So from that time, we get the surety from the very government that was thinking to destroy us.
And who was the premier of this government?
Norman Washington Manley.
Norman Washington Manley.
At that time.
Really?
And from that time, it is known and proved to the Rasta in Jamaica that the resistance of government was eased up after Rasta in Jamaica. The brutalism and the rough way of Rasta was changed, and at the same time a mission was agreeable by him to go and see as a fact-finding mission to go and prove to the other Rasta which desired to go to different area of Africa that there was no other way prepared beside Ethiopia by the Imperial Majesty Emperor Selassie. And that's why the mission leave Jamaica in 1961.
61 now.
Yes, with a delegation between Rasta, non-Rasta, and the government of Jamaica.
Alright.
And when they go to Africa, it was approvable that it was only Ethiopia that fully represent the people by having land for them to return. But when they return, when they go to Ethiopia, from anyway, it was not go officially. And the emperor replied, come back in news by the media that we have in Jamaica. But the reply from the emperor, the mission is a non-official mission. And you couldn't deal with that mission. You must return and send the right people.
The right people. That famous quote.
And from that cause, the Rasta returned and still continue. And then the emperor came, 1966.
Alright.
Well, when the emperor came, I was one who, with my local and the group that I gather, represent ourselves at the airport. Well, in my wisdom, by the Bible, and gather from the Bible, I know who he was. So I make a declaration in a banner, declare these words. Hail to the Lord of 19.
Delicious Eggo waffles, too delicious to let go.
Hail in his time of plenty, for his reign on earth is begun. And set me the captive free, take away transgression, and rule with equality. For equality and justice come for us all who know that Satan's kingdom was far. Let our hand and heart be pure and clean, and rally with the red ball. And by that, when the emperor leave the plane and was moving in the motorcade to go from there to King's house, when he reached where our gathering, my gathering was, seeing that the banner was established in a height, and stood there for a couple seconds and give reverence to the banner. And by that, I found where the government sent some photographic and take a snap of my banner on the gallery, which I think I can be able to say I even have it here. Now I'm in America to prove that what I'm saying is not a false thing.
So you're saying that after Haile Selassie I disembarked from the plane at airport,
Palisade Airport,
right, and entered into his motorcade, into his car, traveling from the tarmac to the highway to go to Palisades. You were along that path. How far from the plane were you and your delegation?
To where the gathering was so large, I can tell you about just the gateway where you enter into the airport. My gathering was, because it was a large number of people. And
you say around 100 yards?
well, I would say, I wouldn't tell you about yard, I would tell you about chain.
Alright.
I could say about, say, between 5-7 chain from where the plane were to where we were. And the outlet from the airport.
5-7 chains is about 100 to 150 yards, actually, I think.
Can be.
Thereabouts. But it was a little distance from the plane.
Yeah.
And in him leaving from the tarmac, coming along, he spotted your banner with what you just said.
Yeah, because we were right on the highway.
Right on the main thoroughfare.
Yes.
And he stopped there.
The car eased off, naturally, and stop. And spend a few seconds and wave to the flag and the banner and the gathering that we had. And then the car
Proceeded.
proceeded.
Alright. So that then was your first real encounter with Haile Selassie I.
That's the first presentation that I have been in position to receive the emperor.
I mean. Then what happened?
And
After
from
that?
there, we follow. I will notice that we have to prepare ourselves to go in every area that we desire to go as his people. So the next place that we go was from King's House to the stadium. And we are following with a motorcade from the airport to King's House, from King's House to the stadium, where they prepare some action with how they feel that they would have been chanting with by the different representation of people that they gathered as black people in Jamaica through the government. So when they return from King's House, and just go and declare and raise the largest packages and his kids, things that he carry with him, and then leave from there back to the stadium, and we were also with him, and we go.
You mean you were part of the entourage?
Yes, I was in the gallery, because we know about that. So
you were a renowned black liberationist,
yes,
someone who had a respected organization that defended Haile Selassie I. So then you were called to be part of the entourage.
Yes.
I read. So after you reach at the stadium.
Yes. We all gathered. We have access to go into the stadium with him. And we take the rostrum and the gallery that prepared that they have in the stadium, while there was a booth was prepared for him also, where him sit and enjoy the different action
Meeting the people of Jamaica.
Yeah,
Aye.
by different entertainers.
Right.
Well, after those entertainers was finished, we have to return back to King's house. And we also following to do that in land back in King's house. And a dinner was prepared for the night, and we were also invited to be partaker of that dinner. And then we, on that terms, we prepare ourselves also, go home, refresh ourselves, get ourselves tidy in apparel that they require for it to come.
Because they had contacted you earlier,
Yes,
telling you how to attire yourself, right?
Right. Each group of the organization was summoned by the government. How we must reach and prepare ourselves. And our attire should have regulated by our God a different way. And the preparation they said we should have as representative was black suit, black shoes, white shirt, and black bow ties. And we also prepare ourselves in that full manner, and I was a part of it. And going into the King's house, they give you a card to certify that you were a invited guest. When you go,
An invitation.
Yes, so when you go, you didn't have no problem. You just handle
The invitation to
the
the one at
guard,
the door.
and the guard of the gate.
And he was allowed to enter.
In. And we
Had dinner with the Majesty.
they prepare the area that we should assemble with music from the Mystic Revelation of
Rastafari.
which was a group that from Rockford, represented by
Count Azzy.
Count Azzy. That was the group that played the entertainers of the drum, the Naya Bingy drum.
Right, I saw it on a video. It was nice with him.
Well, after that session over, the second place we go was the Parliament, where the government operates.
That on Duke Street?
That is Duke Street.
Right.
We were all summoned to be there, and we were there also. And he goes, we were there with him until he finished his work, and we put him back to King's house. He said even from that year, they have to go to the university.
In Mona.
In Mona. We were all there with him too. And then from that, he was prepared to go from there to Selassie Drive, which he granted money to build a school.
That is out by Spanish Town Road, where he built Haile Selassie's first secondary school, where he granted the money for that.
Right.
Alright.
And he did that on a Saturday morning.
Out of Payne Avenue.
Payne Avenue, and from there he leave to Railway. And
Oh.
from Railway, he tried from Railway to Montego Bay.
Were you on the entourage going to Montego Bay?
No, we take a truck.
Oh.
We go
You
by
drove by road,
road.
and he took the rail.
And he go by rail.
Right, alright.
Because his preparation was a diesel.
Oh.
Not a train, diesel. So it couldn't be able to carry any large group, but there was still group go with him.
Right. His
Well,
personal entourage or local individuals?
Well, they are represented from his ranks, and they are
From the palace?
Yes, will come with him, and they are represented from other dignitaries.
Plus the police, I guess, and the soldier?
Well, they are will be there because the monarchy, and they have to see that he's well prepared.
Right, well protected, alright.
So we couldn't take the trip on the train with him.
So you drove by road?
We prepare ourselves, and we have transport, and we go by the road.
And you met in Montego Bay?
Then we reach in Montego Bay, and some of us, and we could be able to take him off the train and go through the square of Montego Bay, and him have all terms of representing himself into the town area of Montego Bay, and then it was come on tonight, and after him do salute and receive the people there, and go back to the hotel that was prepared for him, and we located in different areas there until the morning, it was the Sunday morning, about to leave.
Leave?
Yes.
Leave Jamaica?
Yeah.
What, that was 1966, what month?
April.
April.
Yeah.
Alright.
And then when he ready, we know the hour that he was going to go to the airport, and we prepare ourselves, we rise up and refresh ourselves and get ready and move a motorcade from his hotel that we put him and carry him to the airport. And we take back to ourselves to the balcony, and him also go into the airport, and we are already on the balcony until they make certain speech at the airport. And when it is finished and the time at time that it should have leave, then he make all his welcome to us, and we make also our welcome to him, and then he board his plane and drove away. And we drove
Return
away
to Ethiopia.
and we drove away back to our part of the world.
To Kingston. What took place after now? After all of that took place?
Well, after that took place,
That is around. He arrived in
1966,
April 6th.
I think it was the 6th day of April.
Right. So he left around, let's say around the 13th.
Spend,
A week?
no, it was in a part of the week he came, and him leave on Sunday, the end of the week to the beginning of the next week. He leave on the Sunday.
Alright. What took place after when his mother still left?
Well, after him leave,
In regards to local poetry and the Rastafari movement.
we also continue our works, and I was also getting myself ready and prepared me and my household, brethren and sister, and we said, well, all right, that is finished, and by that time, from that moment, we prepare ourselves to get ourselves ready to go to Ethiopia, and we come 66, and we reach Ethiopia 69.
What inspired you to go to Ethiopia?
Because I were interested about the land or heritage that is given to the organization and people.
So what happened?
And seeing that I were the representative for Charter 43,
Right.
my zeal was not to remain in Jamaica but to return to Ethiopia.
Ethiopia for the Ethiopians at home and
And then
abroad.
I too want to be a loyal representative for my people. I declare that I should go to Ethiopia and have a surety.
So what were the procedures that you took en route to go into Ethiopia as a member of an organization which was granted land through the head office in New York?
Well,
What were the procedures that you took?
The reason, as I told you, from I take up the Ethiopian World Federation, my interest was about the return to Ethiopia and
Right.
about the land.
Right.
So the first thing that I do, I leave Jamaica with a delegation in 1964 by coming to the headquarters of a convention that they had, which is every year they have a convention.
As per constitution.
And according to the
right.
Constitution, and I make a representation with a delegate in 1964 to meet the headquarters and to have a full understanding about the heritage land that is given to the member and people of the organization. And when I reached year 64, meeting in that convention, it was told to me by the president, which was one, Mr. Bryan,
Mr. Brian.
was the international president. And in my remarks speaking about the rights of the people and also the rights of the land, he told me that the land is there for the people of the organization, but they are not interested about the land.
What do you mean they are not interested about
No, because him says whenever they clean this master's table in America where they are, the crumbs for this master's table had filled them stomach. So they didn't have no needs or interested about Ethiopia at that time. So seeing that we are from Jamaica and our master table may not filled with crumbs as they own, then you think we would have more the zeal to really return back to Africa, to Ethiopia. So what he would advise me to do, go and see if I can get myself ready and go to Ethiopia and seek about the heritage that is granted to us. And I leave from America in 64 and I come back to Jamaica and I work voluntarily and organize my people, and then I could be able to move independently.
You say?
With a delegation.
I listen that happened in 1964 that Mr. Brian told you that.
Yes.
Then 2 years in 1966, Haile Selassie I visited Jamaica.
Right.
Give you even that much more zeal and courage to go visit Ethiopia and see directly what is going on in regards to the land grant.
To come to Ethiopia because the emperor make a declaration in Jamaica, not only one saying, but many saying in his speech and representation, that we are the people of Jamaica. He had seen that it's the same people that came from Ethiopia. And we want us to acknowledge that we are not the same people by color, nor here, but by their own one blood.
Blood.
Yes.
The bloodline.
Yes, we are the
That is very important, the bloodline, that which you can't really see.
Right. So
yeah,
everyone was obstacle move when the sound come from the emperor. That we were
one
people,
blood.
Was brothers and sisters of Ethiopia.
It was said that he even said that Ethiopians and Jamaicans are blood brothers.
That's what he says.
Right.
They are not only brothers by color of skin nor hair, but because we are one blood brothers.
Meaning we have the same heritage.
Right.
That which was passed down to us through successive generations.
I'm also say he is the light is to return to Ethiopia.
Highly.
So that spirit and instruction go through us and rest in me to fulfill these desire.
So you returned, so you went to Ethiopia.
So I prepare myself now fully from Mr. Brian's reply and from his receival to us. It gives us more strength, more courage to have the zeal now to go to Ethiopia. And I go voluntarily, seek the means and the cost, but it would take us to go to Ethiopia. And I was prepared and ready by 1969. And I make a trip of a delegation of 5 of us with myself, go to Ethiopia. And I land in Ethiopia. I leave Jamaica the 5th of September 1966.
1969.
1969. And I stop off in America and I will get myself renewed by the church representative, which was the priest.
You stopped in America in 1969. What date?
I think I leave Jamaica the 5th. I think I will land in America by the said 5th.
Right.
And I meet the priest on the 6th.
Which priest is this?
This is Arthur Mandrico.
Arthur Mandrico.
That he was the priest for the church in America.
That is the Holy Trinity Church in the Bronx?
Yes.
Highly.
He also invite me to go to Ethiopia, not only by as a Rasta man, but as a true Christian child of Ethiopia.
Christian child of Ethiopia.
Yeah.
Seeing fully well that he patriarch in the Ethiopian church, which is the main tradition of the Ethiopian people.
Yes.
Orthodox Christian.
Yes, because
He said he think it best for you to go there
Yeah.
as an Orthodox Christian.
Yeah.
Highly.
and I accept it.
Highly.
Because I told you that I am a man who studied the Bible.
Highly.
And I remember that these words was given when the eunuch was traveling and was meted by Philip and advised him to be
Baptized.
And he didn't dispute him, accept. So I said, well, I don't want to go to Ethiopia as Nicodemus, who go by night, find asking the Savior, how could he redeem him? So I accept when the Archbishop said to me that he would advise me to be in Ethiopia as an Ethiopian Christian from Ethiopian Orthodox faith. So I take baptism, and all those that I was represented by me also take baptism. So when I reach Ethiopia as a true Orthodox child, son, and the people that I care was also true Orthodox daughters and sons.
So you reach in Ethiopia September
Yes,
of 69.
I spend, I can assure you, I spend 2 weeks
In America.
and then I sail off to Ethiopia.
Alright, so you reached there in September.
I was still in September. So when I reached there, 18 days after, I reached in Ethiopia. I received the Prime Minister of Jamaica, which was Honorable Shearer.
Oh, Hugh Shearer.
Yeah. 18 days after I landed.
How Hugh Shearer get to come to Ethiopia?
Well, he get to know that the mission gone off to Ethiopia.
Oh, so him never know say you left for come to Ethiopia.
He must hear because it published.
Oh, him hear that. Alright.
So him leave from Jamaica.
You go about his mother's business in a report, you know, one. You just go about his mother's business.
Well, it was published because we didn't leave Jamaica as a side, as any hiding people. We leave with a full report from
establishing that you are going to Ethiopia
to seek about
the land grant. Highly.
So it was known, and when we were in Ethiopia, we heard that
Mr. Shearer is coming
to Ethiopia.
Alright.
And when he landed to Ethiopia, to my present, it was 18. I was in the 18 weeks or days in Ethiopia in September, the 18th of September. I think he reached here.
Alright.
And when he reached us in Shashamane, at that time we were on the land in Shashamane.
So when you reached Ethiopia, you went directly to the land grant?
Yes.
So who entertained you there?
Where?
At the land grant?
Well, there was Mr. Piper, who was given trustee responsibility to keep the land in control until we the people for the land return. So when I go there, he was there, and particularly 4 other persons. There's one Christie, Willie Hillman, Beckford Bar, and his young mistress, and also Robinson were on the land. But I was housed by Desmond Christie, and some of us housed by Mr. Piper, until by 1 month time I could be able to put up my first temporary
Alright,
shelter.
so you say Mr. Shearer came and visit the island.
Yes, and
What took place?
the last time he came, he make us know that he was feeling very appreciated to know that from Jamaica he has been a representative of the people of Jamaica in the government, and when he reached Ethiopia he was highly moved when he heard the report from the government that he should go down to Shashamane and meet the people that come to defend the land rights.
The heritage.
And then he came and make us know he has been very greatly moved to see it's from his country with these type of representatives have been move to the benefit of one for all and all for one. And he will openly assist and do his best that he can to see that he is properly settled.
Alright.
And then he leave a few 2 days or 3 days after. After he leave us, he return back to Addis Ababa and he have hardness with the emperor.
He saw the king.
Yes. And then he have some hardness with him. And then he also was instructed by the emperor what he expecting for him to do for the people on the land. And then he leave. And in 1 month, when I finally 1 month in Ethiopia, closing the end the month of September, the first day of October, which was a Saturday, the emperor come and receive me by oneself. And when the emperor came on Saturday morning, we made a parade. And Gala put herself in a parade on the highway of Ethiopia.
That is the group of people, each in single file on both sides of the road, where you know His Majesty was coming.
No, on one side you have the people of Jamaica, that was the heritage of the land, and on the other side was the Ethiopian farm.
Alright.
And the emperor were in the middle of us.
Right.
But he stopped on the side where we were.
Right.
Because we had a flag of the covenant of Ethiopia, which
Right.
was red, gold and green.
Right.
And when he came, in his motorcade, he stopped right where the flag is.
Around how many you were lined up, you would say?
Well, to be frank, if you allow me, I could give you the number. Because you have 5 of us that just came in Ethiopia, and you have, there's Van Christie, Bar, Billy Hillman, Beckford, Uriah Brown, and
Miss Bar.
it's Bar, and Zepta Malcolm. So if you check it out, 5 from my group.
Around 13 of you.
No, it was, to be frank, it was 10 Jamaicans, and at that time, 1 American, which was Willie Hillman. 11 of us was in that group. But within the 11 of us, you had children who were in the midst of us, and about 2 Ethiopian that were connected to Jamaican.
So that's around 20 then, roughly.
Between 15 to 20 of us.
Alright, lined up on the road. And in that delegate, right, and His Majesty came, you had the flag at one end.
Yes, and the beginning of the parade.
And the line continued after the flag going down.
Going down to Shashaman.
Alright.
I was to the rear end going to Shashaman.
Right.
So the emperor come and stop where the flag is.
Right.
When he stopped where the flag is, I see that the door opened and a soldier came out and closed back the door and made a respectful salute to him and step off. And he passed the parade and come right down to me to the end.
The end of the line.
And
The other end of where the flag was standing.
No, from the flag end to the rear end.
Right. The flag was at one end and you was the other end of the flag. Right.
So when he came down where I am, he stand and make a salute and said to me, the emperor called you.
That's what he said, the emperor called you?
Yes.
How comes the emperor called you?
I don't know, but that's what he said, and I moved with him.
Oh, alright.
And he lead me on from there, and when he go to the car, he make a salute again and go and open the rear door of the car, and the door that on the side where we were, and I saw where the emperor moved from one side of the door.
You was at the other side of the car?
I was at the door that he opened.
Right, and His Majesty was at the other side of the
car. And he
the seat.
And he eased over from that side and come to the door.
Where you were standing
Where I was standing between the door and the car. And he stretch his hand to me. And after I hold his hand and say my prayer as a benediction to him, and I eased back his hand, he took back his hand, and he said to me, say what I want to say. But I had a document from the people of the organization in Jamaica requiring for him to give us the opportunity and the rights to come to Ethiopia and to inherit the land.
So alright, this letter what you have,
Yeah.
when was you you knew this is man so was gonna come there, so you would have given the letter, or you had it just to go to the palace to give it to him? How, why you had that letter?
Because we come with a seal instruction and our preparation from the people that I represent in that local.
That you should go to the palace and give it to his, and seek order to his majesty.
I didn't definitely say going to the palace, but I come with that certainty.
So you don't make his majesty get that letter?
To have a delegation, a representation, rights to see the emperor.
So that him could get this request?
Well, he don't give me this train or the problem to meet him or come to the palace to meet him. He come and receive us. By his own self.
So you gave him the letter?
And after he asked me to say what I have to say, I take out the letter. I have it inside in my inside pocket, jacket pocket, which is a suit I have on. And I take out the letter and I give it to him. And take the letter from me and he put it down beside him at the seat where he sit down. And before him, where I could have discerned properly, I see 2 boxes, one with bread and one with money. And he gave me the instruction, get the little ones then to him. And
referring to the children that was standing in
the little one
parade.
That was the children that are amongst me. From the same Jamaican people that were there, having children there. And some they carry with them and some that they had sent
since they've been on the land.
And they all come up one by one, and each one come take up a bread and take up $1 and he give it to me and said give it to them.
His majesty asks you to relay
these
things to the kids.
Little ones then. And they turn back by their parents with them. Some were on breast, and he still gave me the bread and the $1 to give them. After that, the little ones they were finished. He said to me, tell the big ones then to come and meet him one by one. I give them the instruction. The emperor requires each one of you to come one by one and meet him, and they do so. After they finish and return back in their respective position, the emperor take up the letter of the seat and then burst the envelope, take out the sheet of the requirement.
The letter.
And he open it before his face like this. When he open it like that, the Ethiopian make a very great echo.
That they were alarmed.
And because I were even wondering why they make this type of echo. Well, I didn't get the answer at the same time. But the emperor read the letter and was before me when he finished reading. This is all he replied to me. Okay, my son. As I return, I will send and call you. When he make that first remarks, I was not in my personal consciousness at the time. The mentality found in a far experience, gone in a far area in myself.
Like you were dreaming.
And they found, the soldier realized that I didn't hear because I didn't reply, answer back to him. And the soldier that stand at my outside of the car beside me said to me, you heard what the emperor said? And I said, no. And he heard me when I used the words. And he replied the words, okay, my son. As I return, I will send and call you. And I step, and I make my respectful benediction and cuts to him. And he also accept it. And I step back, 3 steps backward. And the soldier get to close the door, which he was the door that I was with him, and then he go into the front door, and after I go in and close the door,
yeah, horseshoe
I
turn.
saw the car take time and creep off very slowly.
Made a horseshoe
And made
turn.
a horseshoe turn back to
I went back
came
to
to Addis Ababa where he was coming from. And the parade behind him was his family. Car behind him was his son and some other grandchildren and things like those. When they reached up to me, the son called me and said to me, come and meet me. And I go to the car.
I said, this was just his son.
And he said, okay. And he gave me a pass and says, when I come to Addis Ababa, I must come to see this killer. And I
That is where the son had resided.
where his home. And anytime I come to Addis Ababa, I must come to him, come there and meet him. I say, okay. And the car drive off and follow his father. And the soldier behind. And he turned. Well, at that time, the gathering of the soldier and people were in Shashaman in the town, waiting for him to come. And when they didn't see him come, they were surprised why he didn't come. But it was for that occasion he came with the occasion to receive us. And he told me, okay, as I return, I will send and call you. And 5 days after, I get a communication from the police that I should report to the police. And I also do that. 5 day time, it was a matter of about, it was around between Monday to Tuesday. The time that
he was summoned to the palace by His Majesty.
Right.
What were you summoned for?
To go to the palace for to take up a certain instruction, certain understanding about how the land should be administrated and to fully receive the rights to administrate the land. So when
as the chief administrator now,
I didn't know what position I would have been placed into until when I go to the palace. I happened to instruct that I should go to the minister of the palace first. And when I enter the palace of Minilet Palace, that's his working palace. I go in and the soldier escort me into the minister of the palace. And when I go to him, that the minister was at that time was Tafara Works. And he said to me, you are Mr. Wolf? I said, yes. And I give him the letter. He said, yes, I am aware. I was instructed by the Imperial Majesty to be your representative to negotiate with the government of Ethiopian ministers to situate the land right that is given to the Ethiopian World Federation has been turned to you as a full representative and administrator of the land. What him can told me that such an administration is going to take 1 day or 2 days. For Ethiopia don't do anything in haste. So I must expect that I will have to keep moving, coming until it is finally decided. So thank you, sir. And say, okay, you can return and go to Shashamani until I summon the ministers. I will also communicate to you and you can go and I'm to come return again. But when I turned back to Shashamani, in a matter of about a week after, I was called again to the palace. And I started to take up responsibility of administrating with different ministers. And I keep going and going and coming, being in different meetings.
Signing documents and meeting ministers.
And signing documents with different ministers that I have met.
And all of this was in 69?
Yeah, until 1970, June. Last of June, it was settled finally.
Finally, all
7 top ranking ministers of Jamaica after Ethiopia. And that is where I get the full knowledge how I must administrate, what is the legal right that the people should get the land properly given to them.
Could you tell me a little what this agreement was about that you made with the Ethiopian government in regards to the land grant and the issue of the land grant to
Well, I had to prove to the different ministers that I have met the rights and the fullness and the responsibility that I am defending the people by, which was the Ethiopian World Federation, and as a president of the Ethiopian World Federation Charter 43, and all requirement document that is required to identify me. I will have it in my possession.
Right, I showed it to them.
And I had to declare it to them, and they were proper satisfied that I have the rights as a representative of the Ethiopian World Federation. When they finally go through that, then it was summons to the governor of the region of Ethiopia that he would have to come to make the handover of the land, because the land rights were in his portfolio. When it happened that in June last, he was presenting himself, and this is what he declared. But it was finally agreed by the other 6 ministers that they can identify that I am the right person to receive the land representing the people of the Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated. Then we make a declaration that the land that is given to us is given to us as Ethiopians, and the law of Ethiopia, every Ethiopian should have the access of 1 hectare of land.
1 hectare land.
For their living convenience. And but what he would have advised me to do, I have the access to issue the land in 10 hectares. The reason for that, those are whom is here now, we should have the privilege to set up our house and to have an area of land that we could farm for the upkeep of ourselves.
A kind of house garden like?
No, the land, the 10 hectare that we are going to give, 1 hectare is for your house convenience.
Oh.
And 9 hectares each from each individual must farm a cooperative.
Oh, like a communal farm.
A cooperative.
Right, alright. Where everybody would have participated and farm and develop that.
And farm and lay that amount of land.
For the benefit of everyone.
Until the remaining people come. Then we could continue the issue. And that's how the land handed over to me. Issue.
That is 1970. Alright.
And immediately, just practically a week after that final decision come about, I received a surveyor from the Minister of Land Reform in Ethiopia. I had to stand the liability to upkeep him and to put him back to Addis Ababa when he finished issue. And when he come on, the first issue I do was to issue 12 different persons, 10 hectares each. 10 Jamaicans, 2 Americans. And the 2 Americans was Hillman and Gladstone Robinson, which was member of the Ethiopian World Federation, and they were there on the land. And I give them officially. Whether you see it is known that Gladstone Robinson was not in present when the issue was given, but I could identify him because I know him years before that by coming to Jamaica as a representative for the Federation, and I even was the person who housed him until he returned back from Jamaica to America. So I could identify him not at that time.
So 12 issues of land were made.
Was given to 12 different persons in the first issue.
In 1970?
In 1970.
Alright. What took place after that?
Well, after that we were there. I did leave back to Ethiopia until 1972. I I returned from Ethiopia, both to America and Jamaica. And I required back into Ethiopia by 1973. I was called into Ethiopia by the government to find out certain documental rights of the land. And I returned back to Ethiopia in 1973. And I was there from 1973 up to 1974 November. I leave Ethiopia and returned back to Jamaica. And between 1973 to 74, a coup come into Ethiopia by Mengescu.
Alright, so in 1970, when the land was turned over to the Ethiopian World Federation, right?
Yeah.
Was there any other thing going on in Ethiopia in regards to the land grant?
No, there was nothing otherwise more than we.
Were there any other delegation that came to Ethiopia?
No, but it was declared by the representation of Ethiopian government when the land was settled through the BBC that the land that was given to the Ethiopian World Federation was installment for 17 years, and now it has been handed over, represented by the Ethiopian World Federation Charter Party Chief, Representative Mr. Solomon Wall, for settlement of the people to inherit the land of the organization. And then it was a local news was issued also in Jamaica at the same report. And then I returned to Jamaica in 1972, and then I was about this speech, which was represented by Douglas Manley, who was a General Secretary of the United Nations in Africa Hall, who identified himself in Jamaica that the settlement was truly settled and given over to the Ethiopian World Federation by my representation. So it was not a hidden thing. It was go by the BBC News by Ethiopia, and it was go by Mr. Manley's son, Douglas Manley, representing the local news in Jamaica. And I returned to Jamaica 72. They keep representation by the museum in Jamaica, and I was there and I explained the fullness of the settlement, and it was known by all group of Rasta that the land was settled now for the benefit of one for all and all of one for the Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated.
Alright, so you were there in 1970, 71, 72. What did it happen in 72?
I go 69 and I return 72.
72.
And I returned back 1973 with another delegation.
Alright, tell us a little about that visit to Ethiopia in 73.
In 73, after returning back to Jamaica, I carried another delegation of people from my organization again.
From your local 43.
Which was Harold Reed, Glenn Baker, Sister Swearine Thompson, and yes, and then I happened to receive one Johnson, one Brown, one Asher in Ethiopia, one Tolo, and then
how these people came to
Ethiopia.
Yes, and
well, Johnson was one who go to Ethiopia from England, and was given right by the emperor to work in a craft school there in Ethiopia because he was married to Ethiopians and have children, and the Ethiopians begged the emperor for him to allow him to stay in Ethiopia if he could be able to take charge responsibility of his children, and the emperor granted him the privilege and give him a job in the craft school. Tolo was one from Jamaica as a youth go to Ethiopia, and the emperor schooled him, and after he finished his schooling he happened to acknowledge the Ethiopian World Federation, and then from Jamaica as a youth, and he represented himself to me and required for me to sit in his land. But before he do that, he go to the emperor because he was well schooled with Ethiopian knowledge of Amharic, so he could be able to write a letter in Amharic, represent himself, Johnson, and Brown, and Hasha with the same requirement of getting land. The emperor give him an instruction, go to Shashamani and represent yourself to the administrator, and if you identify you all, then he will grant for land, and they do so. So as they come now to get land rights, they are also connected with those that I carry 73, Harold Reed, Sister Swearing Thompson, and Baker. Well, Baker happened to leave a few months before the issue come, but I give 6 more platoons to those 6 persons. 2 from that I carried me 73, and the other 4 was in Ethiopia, and then make a number of 6, and then I issue another 6 hectare, 60 different person again, make it 18 person. That I issue land after the grant. And from that, then a whole cover board.
That is in 1970, what?
73.
73.
That I make the second issue. Well, everybody was there and started to live and administrate until the uprising came, 1974 to 75. Between the student and after the student, then it was taken over by Mendes Mariam by force. And
what do you know about this coup?
Well, I was there when the student started to march in different areas, saying that the emperor, they required the emperor to step down and allow younger person to take over, that the ministers of the Ethiopian government could control and do what the will of the government desired them to do, because through the emperor was a old man, they claim. Whenever I speak to them, they don't do what they want them to do. They go and do their own things, and costing them not getting the full support that they should have required to receive from the government in Ethiopia as students. And then it developed from students to big people, and then the ministers of that government of that time relinquished all ministers and give up them authority as minister and government of the people in Ethiopia.
What was the feelings of His Majesty towards that kind of sentiments from the youth then?
Well, he didn't please at that because he tried to do his best to elevate Ethiopia and his people by spending his own money plus from the government funds and build school, university.
As we know, education was a #1
priority
for Selassie first.
To see that the children of Ethiopia be properly schooled and educated. So he didn't satisfy in that motive. So he called in the ministers and said to them, what is the error that they committed that the people start to rebel against them? And the ministers, the prime minister, didn't make no reply to him. One just called in all ministers and relinquished them from position. So the government was about 3 weeks without ministers.
So what His Majesty said,
what the minister, the emperor do, find out from the people if there any error that he committed against the people, why the people rebel. They said no, it's his ministers there. And then him go and call and prepare another minister, prime minister, and install him, and then that prime minister select all ministers and put them back in portfolio. And a matter of about 3 months after, the whole set of ministers then we go from representative, and then we realize that this thing is moving from one stage to a worse stage. Then call in the army and tell them they must take over to do that law and order be maintained in Ethiopia. And then from that the army use that opportunity to start to operate ignorantly upon the people of Ethiopia. And from that there are many people suffer, die, or they shut down some of the ministers them and things like that, until men get to now take action to and take over the government by a coup of force, and then change the whole thing from a monarchy rule to a Russian military rule by represented by the Russia administration among the sickly put up.
That is in 1974.
75.
75. All right. So you were there when it started.
When it
How
began.
Well, when it began. How long you stayed there?
I lived there on November 94.
94.
I returned to Jamaica on 9 December 94 to 95 January, the coup established by
Mengistu came into being.
And I returned back on 1981 to Ethiopia. That is the regime of Mengistu.
What was the occasion that you returned to Ethiopia for?
Well, because I was put to represent the land right, and after I leave on the upstrike, I did have people there, and I as a representative I was instructed at that time was to set up an executive body there in Ethiopia, for Ethiopia acknowledged that I had to keep going and coming to get the people, to organize the people to come to Ethiopia and to develop the land and to acknowledge, to receive the land. So the government of Ethiopia, that when I received the land, know that I would not stationary at the same time, because I would have to keep going to different areas where the local established to invite and encourage the people to come to Ethiopia, because that was my job.
Right.
So 81, I carried a representative from the house of the party tree, which was Moody, and Moody, and carrying 81, and that was the regime when Mengistu were ruling. When I go, I represent myself to Mengistu and find out from him what is his claim and what authority we have over the land that is given to us, and declare it that the land is still in our favor, but he had to nationalize Ethiopia land, so the amount of land that we had that is not occupied by the people, he will take responsibility to see that the land is under the government control until the remainder of people come.
Alright.
So I have the access was to represent Moody as a representative for my representation, absence in Ethiopia, and to see that the proper administration to sue the government of Ethiopia is still under control by me through Moody, BJ Moody. And he accepted it and gave me the surety that Moody will be secured by every privilege as to be right, have the rights to stay in Ethiopia.
That was in 1981.
1981.
How long you stayed in Ethiopia in 1981?
Well, I stayed between the time I reached and to about 2 months or 3 months. Then I returned after Moody was properly recognized and settled by his government. I returned back to Jamaica.
All right. And the Derg kept in power and kept up the atrocities against Ethiopia and the people of Ethiopia,
Yes.
confiscating and holding on to the land.
Yes. Nationalize all that.
Right.
And
Then-
seeing the whole gloom of the emperor representation, I personally, when I reached Ethiopia in 81, I report from the people that there was no picture of the emperor could be found in no one of them house, and there was instructed by his government and representative that they don't want to hear nobody deal about the emperor anymore, to get the emperor power responsibility and deal with his administration, and you are under different representation which was the rule of Russia. And then it caused many of the people that were settled on the land become panic,
And they vacated the land.
and then many of them vacated the land because they didn't satisfy of the action that we take against the emperor. And that's why it worked out that many of the people that was received land leave the land and have to come back to the different part of the world where they were from in Jamaica. And it worked like that until the present administration rise in Ethiopia for the return of victory from the shekel of communists,
The red terror.
terror from,
Mm-hmm.
and then bring it back to a normal democratic rule.
Mm-hmm.
And then I so turned into Ethiopia by 1996.
How it came about that you returned to Ethiopia in 1996?
Well, I moved from, I was invited by the local number one local was to visit a celebration that they had to identify the truth and the right about the fullness of Ethiopia World Federation, which they call Rally Around Shashamani,
A unity rally,
a unity rally.
which was to be held somewhere over there, Winthrop Junior High School. Right.
When I really get the communication and the convenience to come to America, my visa was not up to date. So it caused me to delay a few days, but I couldn't appear in this very personal time.
And at the same time, the American government, the embassy was closed.
down.
Oh,
Caused me to delay. So when it opened, immediately as it opened,
you applied for your visa.
I applied for the renewing of my visa. Because I did have a visa before, and I received it immediately, and I returned to America immediately in 1995, the 21st of December, and I spent 1 month in America as a representative of the Federation and the land grant, and we are coordinator with the Ethiopian World Federation, local number one, and see that they were properly organized with 25 members. And in my leaving of America, 1996, I was certain that the local was established from 25 up to over 35 members. And I leave from there, out of there on, and returned to Ethiopia by the 21st of January.
So when you returned into Ethiopia in 1996, right?
Yeah.
What was it that you did
But when I returned into Ethiopia and meet Modi, which I placed there as a representative for Charter 43 and Ethiopian World Federation in general, I found that there was an NGO organization come between the Federation by a group of Birmingham and a group from England who stand the representation of that organization to be a part of the development of the Shashamane land grant, which I see it was not appropriate for we to have an organization like that to be the leading part of this land rights, because that was not the way the land handed to us. We supposed to be the leading representative of the land, not that we couldn't receive assistance from other organizations for the development of the land, but they are not supposed to be the leading representative for us. We're supposed to be the representative of the land rights, God given to the organization and for the development of the land and its people. So I put a hold on it and allow it, and when it was identified that I was right, that the organization could not lead by the NGO, it caused many a little affliction, but I didn't care because I had to do what I am entitled to do. And when it reached out, it said that we had to have the right of our land. They were inviting me to be leaseholders.
Leaseholders of the land.
Of the land.
So alright, when you returned in 96, right?
Yeah.
And because of what Mengistu did with the land, meaning he nationalized the land,
Right.
then the initial sum of land which was granted to us was no longer there. It was a smaller portion.
It is there, but a smaller portion
Was allotted
was
to us.
allotted to us, as because of the delay of the development of the land. Mengistu law was until we can utilize that portion as a pilot project satisfactory of a proper development, then the furthermore amount of land that we had fully given to the organization will return to us. But at the same time, the NGO was put by these two representatives local that I have mentioned.
Alright?
And that was where it goes on until I see. I wait patiently until it reaches a point that we have to come to a conclusion that we should have agreed to be leaseholders. So I said, well, see there now, how could we be owner and turn to be leaseholders?
Especially since you go back in 96,
Right.
you had to go to the various government departments.
Allow me can tell you what I have to do. Well, after I see that and they make that declaration, Moody was placed by these two local to be the representative as chairman within the administration, and then Moody also accept my requirement that we could not take any land rights of a leasehold, and he also hold a break and to demonstrate the security of the land rights and then immediately the convention come about, and when these groups came both between Birmingham and London and America representation come to Ethiopia to carry out the convention, instead of they cooperate with us, they happen to ignore us, and seeing that we didn't accept it to follow, to keep up with their NGO plan, they leave with a disorganizing concern and come back to the different part of the world, and shortly after they return, they send a reply to the NGO that they don't recommend Modi to be any more representative for the NGO or the Ethiopian World Federation represented by them, for they are now in the full responsibility of international representative. And immediately they send that request to the NGO said, well, he would not go any further with the administration because we are disorganized, and instead of the NGO represent the Federation administration, he closed it. Well, me as the administrator for the land, I take up my responsibility to make my presentation to the government that have our land in hand, which is the Roma, and I go to Nazareth.
Nazareth is
the
like
headquarters for the organization of the Roma. And when I go there, I make my
local government.
I make my presentation to them, who I am and what is my intention to have the right of the land, to see what instruction is given for me to have the right of the development of the land. Then by the head authority in Nazareth, accept my request and go to a conference which they call Sip Sabbath with other members of the federal government and other members of the said Roma government. A documental acquirement required to represent. It is my document of claims and their document that they had in the federal government.
They researched that and saw that everything was in accordance.
And they agreed that we have the land now in hand, even governmentally, 27 years. So it was right for them to city that we get the right to utilize the land in hand, even governmentally, 27 years. So it was right for them to city that we get the right to utilize the land. But the agreement was made by Mengescu that out of the 200 hectares, we should receive 40 hectares and use it as a pilot project until we can fulfill that 40 hectares in the proper development that the government requires. Then the remainder of 160 hectares will return to us. So they accept that and desire to work on that decision. So out of the 40 hectares, we will have 11 hectares rights of utilization. So the government gave the full authority that we should have the right to develop the remaining 29 hectares. But seeing that the NGO take back their responsibility, then it requires now from the federal government that we, the Ethiopian World Federation, should take up our responsibility loyally and show the capability of the security that we desire to operate on the land and to see the land develop. And then we will have all rights as what the land is given to us. Cause me now to forward from Ethiopia, return back to America, to organize with the #1 local and to organize the remaining local that is established in different areas over the world, to come to one conclusion, to fulfill the desire of the Ethiopian government by establishing a vocational center upon the land as a school, an industrial school, to assist the Ethiopians at home as Ethiopians, for them to learn the modern skill and experience for development of Ethiopia, and by that we can take our step for housing and other development. And then that is the task that we have now, to bring back everything into a normal stage, so that the members of the Ethiopian World Federation can have the right to go to Ethiopia and merit His gracious gift of heritage to each and every one of us.
So as much as Mengistu had tried to stop the developmental program or slow it down, he did that only for a time. And you waited patiently until he was no longer on the scene. That you took up the program of development again with the Oromo people who is now the local government of that province.
Yeah. A part